Hello, this will be the tutorial for lesson 15, Conditionals with the Farmer. This will be part 2, beginning with puzzle number 9. Let's go ahead and begin. Here is puzzle number 9. The directions say pick up all the lettuce. You'll notice, however, in the puzzle, that some of the bundles already have the number 5, but there are other bundles that do not have a number. They have a question mark. Therefore, we are going to treat all of them as if they were question marks. The fact that some of them we know does not change that fact. Begin small by just writing the program for her to do the very first part, which would be to take a step forward and then to pick lettuce while there is lettuce. So we're going to use the while there is lettuce conditional block and ask her to pick lettuce. And we're going to run it just to make sure that it works just for that first bundle. And it does. Now, we are going to take this small program and we're going to put it into a traditional repeat loop. Now, the reason we're going to do that is because the traditional repeat loop is for when you know exactly how many times your character has to do it. And in this case, she has to do 5 bundles. And no matter how many times I click run, it will always be 5 bundles. And since that number does not vary, we are going to know that it has to be repeated exactly 5 times. So go ahead and put that program inside there and go ahead and click run. Very good. Go ahead and click continue. The directions say the lettuce is now only at the end of the path. Travel down the path until you reach a head of lettuce, and then continue to pick it while there is still some left. So, what they're asking you to do here is to use a conditional loop that will make your character walk from here to here. Now, the way that we would have done it before, we would have used a traditional repeat loop that told her how many steps to take exactly. But in this case, we have a new conditional that says repeat until there is lettuce. Well, what we're asking her to do is we're asking her to move forward and to keep moving forward until there is lettuce. So we're going to go ahead and put that right there. And let's see if that works. Will she continue to walk until there's a bunch of lettuce? And it does. Now, once she is there, she needs to pick the lettuce. And we're going to use the conditional that we were using a moment ago, which says, while there is lettuce, pick lettuce. Good. Click continue. That was puzzle 11. Here is puzzle number 12. The directions say the lettuce is scattered all over the garden. Travel down each path until you reach a head of lettuce. Then continue to pick it while there is still some left. So the complexity here is a little bit higher now because not only does she need to walk towards an end, does she not only does she need to walk until there's lettuce and then pick the lettuce, then she has to choose to turn in a very specific direction based on which direction the path goes. So let's go ahead and write it the way that we did a moment ago. First of all, we still want her to just walk until she gets to a bunch of lettuce. Then we still want her to pick lettuce while there is lettuce. Let's make sure that that works. Now, not only does she need to walk there and pick the lettuce, in this particular case, we're going to ask her to turn left. Now, we are going to ask her to do all of these things a total of 3 times because she will have to go this way in one direction, this way in a second direction, and then this way in a third direction. That will not vary. And as long as we know that it will always be 3 rows, then that means that we will use a traditional repeat loop with the number 3, one for each of the roads or paths in this case. Good. Go ahead and click continue when you are ready. This was puzzle number 12. Here is puzzle number 13. The directions say the lettuce is scattered all over the garden. Travel down each path until you reach a head of lettuce, then continue to pick it while there is still some left. So this is essentially the same puzzle that we just completed, except this time she will have to turn to the right each time. So let's build it exactly the same way. We still want her to walk until there's a bunch of lettuce. So move forward. We still want her to pick lettuce while there is lettuce. And in this case, we're going to ask her to turn to the right. Let's make sure that that works for that first row. Good. Now, we are going to take this entire program that is sufficient for each row with a head of lettuce, and we're going to ask her to repeat it a number of times. The number of times that we ask her to repeat it is how many different rows she has to complete. Let's count them. Row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4, row 5, row 6. Therefore, this should be a number 6. Go ahead and run it. Very good. Go ahead and click continue. That was puzzle 13. Number 14 is a video on conditionals. And you'll notice that it is a different shape because there are actually two empty slots. So this is a conditional in which there are two possible actions. If the first one is true, if at flower, then do this. So if this conditional statement is true, then you will do whatever's in here. If this statement is false, then you will do whatever's in here. So you're actually going to choose two possible actions. One of them will happen if the statement is true. One of them will happen if the statement is false. Please watch the video when you're ready and click continue. Here is puzzle 15. Click on ready when you're ready. Okay, let's make this a little bit larger. All right. So let's begin by building the same program that we have been doing for these last few puzzles by making her walk every time that and until she gets to a head of lettuce, making her pick lettuce while there is lettuce. But the difference here is in the last two puzzles ago, we had her turn to the left at each row. In the last puzzle, we had her turn to the right every puzzle. In this case, she can turn in one direction or the other. So we have to use this special conditional right here that tells her that if the path is to the left, well, which way should she go then? Well, she should go to the left. So if this statement is true, if the path turns to the left, turn left. If this statement is wrong, if the path doesn't turn to the left, what should she do? She should turn to the right. Let's see it happen. She's going to walk to this bundle of lettuce. She's going to pick the lettuce, and then you'll see the computer actually make a determination in which direction does the path turn. And then once it makes the decision, it will turn in that direction. If the path is to the left, she'll turn left. If the path does not turn to the left, she'll turn to the right. Watch it. Did you see the little lines above her head? That was the computer deciding whether or not this conditional statement was true, and if not, turn to the right. You'll notice that here, when she was done picking the lettuce, the path did in fact not go to the left, and therefore the statement was false. So the or else turned to the right. So she turned to the right. Now, the number of times that she has to perform this entire program is the number of rows that she has to complete. So let's count them. One row, two rows, three rows, four rows, five rows, six rows, seven rows. So we're going to use a traditional repeat loop with the number 7. And at the end of each row, watch her decide whether or not the path goes to the left, in which case she'll turn left, and if not, she'll turn to the right. And you can see those black lines. That's the computer deciding whether or not she can turn to the left or if she needs to turn to the right. There you are. Click continue when you're ready. And here is puzzle number 16. Build it exactly the same way that we have done so far. Repeat until there is lettuce, move forward. While there is lettuce, pick lettuce. Conditional. If the path turns to the left, turn to the left. If that's untrue, turn to the right. Put all of this inside a traditional repeat loop, and the number in the repeat loop will be the number of rows that she has to complete. Let's count. 1 row, 2 rows, 3 rows, 4 rows, 5 rows, 6 rows, 7 rows, 8 rows, 9 rows. Replace that with a number 9. Put the entire program inside. Mark. Run the program. And because this is the last puzzle of the unit, when you click finish, you will get to the page that has the certificate. You are not expected to do anything here. This simply means that you are done. You are welcome to close code.